My name is Amadou Camara, and I'm from West Africa. I grew up with poverty and a childhood that was marked by trauma and adversity, but somehow I was able to overcome that. And now I'm the author of a new book called Climbing the Hill, which is basically breaking the silence to help children that are facing major challenges in their lives.
You're watching Success, Motivation, and Inspiration, where we share interviews with incredible leaders who are crushing it in life and business.
Amadou, man, it's so good to have you on the show. I'm excited to chat with you today and just good talking with you a little bit before the show started. Who are you here to help today, and what problem do you solve for them?
I'm here to help the children that have been silenced for a very long time because in the world that we are living today, we have many children that are suffering in silence. And that's the reason why I wrote Climbing the Hill, to shed some light on that, because I went through a difficult childhood growing up, and that wasn't fun at all. And also from leaving my country behind and coming to the United States, I also wanted to shed some light on the immigration journey, because the book is so relevant in our current political environment right now, what immigrants are capable of doing in this country. So that's the reason why I wrote Climbing the Hill.
Awesome. And I'll share some Amazon links later throughout the TV show. So if you're watching this on Amazon Fire TV on a newer smart TV, you can actually scroll down, click the link, and buy his book. Have it delivered directly to your smartphone or tablet or computer, wherever you'd like to read it. Now, Amadou, first off, give us your one-line story from Guinea to the U.S. and what should viewers know about you first?
So I grew up in a country where poverty and just getting through the day, getting food on the table was extremely difficult. I grew up in a family where I had a family of 11 people, where I was the only child, and I grew up with my grandmother since the age of 2 all the way until I reached the age of 21 years old. And being the only kid at the house, I was the only kid doing all the household chores before going to school. And climbing the hill is actually a hill that I was climbing. And my grandmother would wake me up around like 5 a.m., between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. to go and fetch water. And sometimes I have to go down the hill, travel 2 miles to get water, carrying 20-liter bottles. The pain in my back was very excruciating, and my feet felt like they were made out of lead from being such a young age, and having to do all that household chore was very difficult for me. Right after coming back from getting the water, I would clean our house before going to school, and sometime I would go to school wondering what the next day would look like for me, and there was no hope, and I had to do that for 15 years of my life. And also, in addition to getting water and cleaning the house, I used to wash my aunt's clothes every Sunday. That also was very excruciating, because I had to get water from the well and start like washing the clothes of her and her family from 5 a.m. sometimes, and I all the way until 5 p.m. And that was very difficult as well. So that's the reason why I decided to break the silence, because there are a lot of children in the world that are experiencing abuse by their families, and it's just something that's normalized in certain families, and that's the reason why I decided to write Climbing the Hill.
Well, and different cultures have different views of abuse and how much kids are supposed to help out. In America, we have kids that are so ridiculously overprivileged, where there is not a toy that they can even imagine that they don't have, or they're, anything they want. Walk into the grocery store, they get it all, and it's no chores, they become terrible people because they've got no responsibilities and no discipline whatsoever. So kind of two opposite sides of the spectrum there, as far as you completely taking care of the family and just working your guts out, compared with the kids in school that have no discipline. How would you balance that? Do you have kids yet, or?
I have a daughter now, and being in that situation early on in my life, in my childhood experiences, I would not want my kid to go through those experiences. It actually taught me a lot about, like being a kid, protecting a kid, and all of those things. So I do have a daughter today. And like you said, Curtis, like my first impression when I came to America, having to fetch water for my family, having to do all those chores for my family, and coming to America and see how privileged people are in America, it was shocking to me. I was like, wow, because where I grew up in that environment, I had no hope at all.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. I didn't have any hope until I won the diversity visa lottery to come to the United States. And that also was like, and that itself was a huge opportunity for me because it was not promised that I would be granted a visa to come to America, because when I won the diversity lottery visa, I had zero English. And when I came to America, I also had
Wow.
zero English. So I came to America with dollars and a suitcase and the dreams, and I didn't know anything. And it was very hard at the beginning, and it was extremely hard, but I had to push myself to get to the level that I am today. And
Yeah.
all of that and seeing the opportunities in America made me seek for more, look for more, and be more in this country.
What is the moment that changed your trajectory?
Are you talking about in Guinea, or are you talking about in America? Like in what context?
Making you go from that sense of being not good enough, having to being kind of walked on, everybody taking advantage of you, to now publishing a book on, personal development book, and actually creating a successful life now. What changed?
So when I was in Guinea, I had no say at all. So everything was about gaining blessings from my elders, and that was kind of like everything was centered around like culture. Like, you kids have to do this in order to gain blessings from their elders. So I had no say until I won the diversity lottery. And when I won the diversity lottery, I didn't receive any family support at all. My family didn't want to support me. My family didn't want to do anything. So I had to actually like fight for myself in order for me to get to here.
Yeah.
And even that, when I went for my visa, the visa expenses, my mom had said that she would take a loan, but then I would take the responsibility to pay the loan when I get to America, and not even knowing whether I would get a job in America or whether I would succeed in America without speaking any English. So I gambled on myself. I took that leap of faith that everything will work out for me when I reach in when I get to America. So when I got here, I had a burning fire of succeeding, because not only the weight of repaying that loan was looming over my head, so it was literally on top of my head. And I was like, oh, how do I succeed in a foreign country where I don't speak the language and I don't know anybody, I don't have any family, I don't have any relative. So how do I succeed in this country? So one thing that really helped me was like, I said, first of all, I need to learn English. I need to do everything in my power to get back to school and learn English. And when I came here, I was met with major obstacles. My sponsor, the person who sponsored me to come to America, decided to not let me go back to school. And that person requested that I actually work to help him pay the bills. And that was in New York. And I was shocked. I was like, how could you help someone who just arrived in the United States in the very first place and do not speak the language to work, to find a job to work? First of all, you should let me go to school, learn how to speak the language and all that. So all of that, all those experiences from what I went through in Guinea and what I went through in New York decided to push me forward, to succeed. And I was like, man, I need to do everything in my power to succeed. Then I decided to relocate and go to Atlanta so I can pursue my education and put myself first. And that was the changing moment for me. I realized that I have to do more, and I have to work harder in order for me to succeed in this country. So that was a turning moment for me.
It blows me away how many people are born in America. They speak the language natively, got a pretty good life, and walk around feeling sorry for themselves about how little they have, or if they just had a chance. And it's always cool seeing folks that you came from another country, didn't even speak English, and decided to do what it took to become successful.
Yeah.
Now, how did you actually learn English over here?
So when I first arrived, I went to Columbia University because back home we would watch Gossip Girls, So we would watch the show called Gossip Girls, and it was
Okay.
in French. And the university that I saw was Columbia University, where all those rich kids were. And when I came
Okay.
to America, I only knew Columbia University, and that was the first school that I went to register for. I had my visa, I had my visa, and then I went there and I asked them if I could register for English classes. I didn't even know it was called the ESL, English as a Second Language. So they
Okay.
decided to put me into their 6 p.m. classes. And when my sponsor found out, I was met with, you know, like dismissal. Like he said, you're not like they definitely didn't want to allow me to go to school, so he decided to secure a job for me where I would go and work during school hours. So I wasn't able to
Okay.
go to school. So then when I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, I went and I registered at Georgia Premier College to study English, first of all. So English as a second
Okay.
language. So I went to community college first. So I they gave me I took some exams when I was at Georgia Premier College. I took some exams, and that determined my level of English where they would place me. So they placed me
Okay.
on level 1 for reading, speaking, and listening. So from there, I took 2 years to learn English. And then, but on top of that, I was listening to YouTube videos. I was reading a lot. I changed my phone.
Putting in the work. Yeah.
Yeah, I changed my phone from French to English. So that's how I was able to learn English. And then after 2 years, then I started taking college level English courses.
Very cool. Now, what limiting belief did you have to get rid of or replace to move forward? Was there anything about how, like, not being good enough yourself or anything like that that you dealt with from childhood that you had to fix?
Yes. So because like the conditions that I grew up and like basically like shrinking yourself to meet other people's expectations was always something that was a constant battle for me. Like, and then coming to America and then walking into like coming to my sponsor, and even though like I was 21 years old and he was trying to treat me like I was a baby, that I was not good enough, that you don't know what you're doing. Like you just came, like you should listen to me. So those were the things that I actually struggled a lot. And I was like, man, I need to take my own life into my own hands, because then I
Yeah.
realized that like if I want to be somebody, I need to become the architect of my own life. Basically, I need to be Congress of my own life, pass the policies that I would like to pass in my life, and accept what I would like to accept and reject what I would like to reject. So
Yes, sir.
that's why I had that mindset from the get-go when I came here. And that's why there was like this huge constant fight between me and him all the time until I left. And even today, I'm sorry to say it, but we don't even talk to each other. It would just saddens me a lot. But at the end of the day, I was about to put myself first and the things that I would like and the things that I wanted to achieve in this country. That's how things went.
What's one lesson that your journey taught you that viewers can use today in their own life?
Is that you have to have the right mindset in any given situation that you are facing with, that you are dealing with. And resilience is built day by day. It's not something that you just wake up. It's not something that you are born into. It's something that you actually create for yourself. So in order for you to be very resilient, you have to have the type of mindset to keep moving forward in life, regardless of all the obstacles that you are going to face in your life. And you have to remind yourself that and be positive and keep pushing keep pushing the boundaries, because at the end of the day, things might seem like if you are faced with an obstacle today, things might feel like you are not progressing. But the little steps that you take every single day, they adds up, they build up. If I had come to this country and decided to be submissive, to not learn English, to listen to what other people were telling me, I would not be in this position today. I don't think, maybe I would be, but it would take me a lot longer. And given the fact that I came here in 2013, and in a short amount of time, I was able to grasp the language, go to school, learn,
Yeah.
and today and work, for a big major, like a big architecture company in the US. So it's just like the little steps that I took that all add up to my success. So I would tell
Compounding
people,
results.
exactly. So I would tell people, don't be afraid to do the things that you love. Don't be afraid to pick out when things are not going in your direction. Don't be afraid to say no to anybody. As long as you know this is what you want and this is what you would like to achieve, and you are going to put in the work for it, then do not be afraid. Because sometimes when you say no to people and then you don't put in the work, then you're giving them the reasons, you're giving them all the reasons why they told you to not do this like this, or why they told you to listen to them. But
Just reaffirming.
Exactly, you affirm. If you put in the work, then you are proving them that they are wrong and that you are right. So that's what I would
Now
say.
you came from another country, not speaking English. You've published a book in English that's crushing it. I was looking, you got some great reviews. You're also an architectural designer.
Yes.
What design principles helps someone rebuild a life?
The idea of designing, when you think about the idea of designing, is like recreating or inventing something, right? So you look at a neighborhood, like a neighborhood where like you have the neighborhood is not very good looking, and now they have to create something more beautiful and more, desirable living conditions in that neighborhood. So but that's how kind of like I see my life, to that, like similar to that perspective, because like coming from a harsh conditions, like harsh realities, and then like being able to not only study architecture, but to rebuild my life, which is actually absolutely connected to architecture and how you see a space and you rebuild that space, you redesign that space for people to actually to connect with people, to enjoy and to heal people. Because when you build the spaces that heal and inspire others, you're creating something more meaningful. So that's what architecture did for me. So, and in that process, when I was studying architecture and designing spaces, I was actually able to see my own personal life into it as well, and that's why I love architecture, and, just want to keep moving into it.
This interview is sponsored by Newswire magazine. We celebrate the entrepreneurs and thought leaders shaping the future, those who don't just adapt, but innovate, who inspire others to think bigger, lead boldly, and create lasting change. Only a select few are featured in Newswire magazine, and for those who earn a place on the cover, the opportunities are unmatched. Your story shared with a global audience, your achievements celebrated on national billboards, reaching millions. Every leader has a story. Every vision deserves a platform. Who will rise to the top? Stay tuned. You're witnessing greatness unfold.
Hey, welcome back to Success, Motivation, and Inspiration. We're on with my friend Amadou. Really great having this conversation with you today. We were talking a little bit about your life and just the rough stuff you went through, learning English, becoming an engineer or architecture engineer over here. Walk us through a simple 3-step stabilize your life plan that viewers could start this week.
First of all, when you're starting at the bottom, you are at the bottom of your life and you're starting from there. I would tell you that's a great place to be in, because from there, you are just moving up. You are just building up. So don't be afraid. So start by building little by little and be very consistent. Be very consistent. You can have your goals, what you would like to achieve, and then break those goals into small goals that you would like to achieve day by day. You can say, tomorrow I would like to do this, or in a week I would like to do this, or in a month I would like to this is where I would like to be, and then in 1 year this is where I would like to be, and then 5 years later that's where I would like to see myself. So that's what really helped me personally in my life. When I came to America, I had to break down the things that I wanted to achieve in this country. So the goal was for me to become an architecture designer today. And for me, in order for me to get to where I am today, I had to burn a lot of bridges. Not gonna say in the wrong, like in the along, like when you are building up, you are going to meet a lot of people. You are going to face a lot of obstacles, but don't let those obstacles define who you are, and do not let the setbacks hold you from achieving your success. That's what I want you to understand. So
I love that you're talking about incremental progress, making small, measurable, actionable results where you can kind of pat yourself on the back, you get a small win, and that compounds into additional wins. Our kid, we've got an 8-year-old son that's going to love this interview. He's really working hard on trying to not only make good choices, but those little small wins throughout the day, so he can have a great day by the end of it.
yeah.
But, I mean, that's good advice for everybody from an 8-year-old up to all the successful entrepreneurs watching this. What daily habit keeps you steady when stress strikes? Spikes.
That's a good one. So a daily habit that keeps me with myself and who I am as a person is like, I have to remind myself that failure is acceptable sometimes. You don't have to be in a constant mindset that you have to achieve your goals that you set for yourself today. Failure is part of the journey. So sometimes you are going to fail. Let your failure become your strength that's going to push you forward to achieve success. For example, you might decide to take an exam today to become somebody else, achieve something, and you take the exam and you fail the exam. Let the exam become a strength for you. It prepares you for your next. When you retake that exam, you might succeed. So don't see failure as setbacks. Don't see failure as something that you cannot overcome, but absolutely you can overcome. So for me, because nothing is guaranteed in life, right? So sometimes like we all go through like moments of like when we want to do something, but we even if it's like something like today, like you will say like, okay, I have these goals. I have 5 goals today. I would like to achieve those 5 goals, but sometimes you get so busy and you can only achieve 1, 2, or 3. So so it's just part of life. And sometimes like when you as a higher achiever, and if you don't achieve your goals, you might feel some type of way. Like you might feel like, okay, like I'm not being productive. I'm not doing much. I'm not where I would like to be in life. So you don't have to, like you have to take time for yourself. You don't have to let things that you didn't achieve right in that particular moment define you at all. So that's what I would say. And that's what I apply every single day for myself. And it's just failure is part of my journey. And I did fail a lot. So, and I let.
But winners use failure as a reason to become something better. You compare it. A loser uses failure or their past as an excuse for the reason they can't move on. Yeah. Winners use it as a reason to become something better. But
exactly.
You were talking about the incremental stuff. One of the things I really love, these blocks. Mm-hmm. These are little timers where I can turn on and say, okay, I need 5 minutes. You set it down. In 5 minutes, it'll shut off. So that's a big thing especially if somebody's got kind of an ADHD type of hard to focus. Mm-hmm. Setting timers, whether it's on your phone, your watch, your kitchen timer, I don't care. But if you've got something setting those timers and then kind of counting those down, where I've got 13 minutes and 8 seconds left, I better get my button gear, huh?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Now, talking about writing as healing, what's your 20-minute routine for beginners?
Writing is absolutely healing, because when you are writing, especially, I'm not talking about other genre, but like if you're writing about a memoir, especially for me, like it was a healing process for me, because I had a lot of my childhood trauma was very hard to overcome for me, So as you are writing, you are expressing your emotions. You are letting out all the anger and all the frustration, and you will come to a place where not only you are healing yourself, but you're also forgiving people who did something to you, So if you are writing a memoir, it's like, I would call it like bleeding on the page, because like, it's like you are bleeding on the page because you are writing all of your emotions. You are putting everything in that book, everything into words. And that's, and those things kind of like, fill your soul. with sometimes like with sadness, with all different kinds of emotion, with joy. You find yourself happy on certain chapters and you find yourself not happy on certain chapters. So I would just tell, if somebody is starting as a writer and writing a memoir, I would just tell you, these are the type of things that you could be experiencing as you are writing your memoir, and a lot of people will be also afraid of hurting other people, because when you are writing a memoir, you are telling the facts, you are telling the truth about what happened. And sometimes people are afraid of offending somebody, and
What will your family think? Yeah.
and the family, or sometimes they will just be like, I am afraid like this person will think about me differently now, since now they know this about me. So you don't have to let all those things stop you. If you would like to write your book, go ahead and write your book. That's what I was saying. Do not let people's opinions define your life at all. Don't let them hold you back, because sometimes like people's opinions and where you would like to be are like, people's opinions are the barrier between you and where you would like to be. So don't cross the barrier, and just move forward and continue and write that memoir, because a lot of people today need to hear what you have to say. If what you have to say is very important, if what you have to say is something that a lot of people in the world are experiencing and they need to know about it, go ahead and write it. Go ahead and write it, and it will inform people. It will help people understand the world that we are living in today. So that's what I would say. And do not be afraid to write your piece, write your story.
Now, talking about your book, Climbing the Hill, that's available on Amazon, Kindle, hardcover, paperback, quite a few options there. But what does that phrase actually mean in practice?
Climbing the hill?
Yeah.
Climbing the hill, it is an actual hill that I was climbing, but it represents also the day-to-day struggles that we are going through in life and that we are faced with. So because climbing the hill is around my life story and the struggles that I face. But if you think about the hills that you are climbing, Curtis, for example, whether or other people are climbing, for example, whether it's a family problem, relationship problem, mental health problem, educational problems, any political problems, any problems that people are dealing with could be climbed, So and the book argues you that, anything that you are faced in life, any obstacles that you are faced in life, do not let those setbacks at all hold you back. So that hill that you are climbing could be climbed with the right mindset, with resilience, and with what we talked about, step by step. Take one step today and take another step tomorrow. So, but with dedication and persistence.
Perfect. Now, for new immigrants, when it's just come to the United States, what are the top 3 systems to mastering your first 90 days here?
First 90 days, I would tell that person, first of all, find yourself a place where you can go and learn English. Because if you don't speak the language, you already have a disadvantage. You cannot do anything. You have to speak the language in order for you to get opportunities in the United States. So you have to be able to speak English if you would like to achieve anything in this country. So that's one thing. The second thing, do not surround yourself with people who do not have the same goals as you. And I say that loudly and clearly because I burned those bridges a long time ago, and it's still, even today, people are telling me that I am a bad, I am this, I'm that. But it's the fact that if you want to succeed in a particular area, you have to surround yourself with people that speak that language. Yep. People that actually practice what they are dreaming about, People are dedicated to those things that you would like to achieve. That's how you achieve success. But if you mingle with people who have other dreams, so you're chasing their dreams, you're not chasing your dreams anymore. So associate yourself with people who have the same goals and objectives as you. And then the third one, do not be afraid at all. Be unstoppable. Be unstoppable. If you want to do something, make sure you do it. Make sure you do it 100%. Make sure you do it. Commitment. Just make commitment to something that you would like to achieve and commit to that thing, and you will succeed in that, and you will succeed in it.
Now, if we're talking about getting connected, this could be whether it's an immigrant coming in or somebody that's just maybe you've moved to a different town and you're starting out of school here. For students and young pros, how do you build skills and a support network fast?
Like, you have to be open-minded and willing to learn. Because if you're not open-minded and you're not willing to learn, you will not build those connections, right? So oftentimes you have a lot of people who come to this country. I've met a lot of people. For example, like I have a friend, he came here, he's so close-minded. He said he's not going to mingle with other Americans, that he would only mingle with his own community, right? So that is also like you're setting yourself for a failure, because in order for you to learn and to move on and to learn in order for you to learn from another person's perspective and to learn other cultures, you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to learn, and you have to be also very empathetic, because the way you grow up and the way I grow up are completely different. And your lived experiences and my lived experiences are completely different. So you have to be patient with people, and you have to understand people, because you didn't live their life. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what they've been through in life. So all those things, you have to build all those things. You have to build all those characteristics into your life in order for you, to build those genuine connections.
Now, sell me the book here. If I had never heard of it, I'm just on Amazon. Give me a brief synopsis of exactly why this book would matter, why I would need to read it, besides just hearing your story.
This book would matter because if you ever faced a life obstacle in your life, if you are out there wondering whether you'll be able to achieve your goals or not, then this book is for you. If you are out there and wondering what success look like, then this book is for you. If you are out there and you are an immigrant and wondering about what you could be doing in America and how you could be achieving what you would like to achieve, then this book is for you.
Perfect. And then you're starting, I know you're getting into speaking and doing some workshops and stuff. Could an organization bring you could they hire you to come in and speak and teach their employees? And if so, what could they expect in the first 60 to 90 days?
If they do that, they would expect an understanding of being like understanding somebody else's cultural behavior or understanding somebody else's cultural background, and use that information to develop a system that would work for them in their company, or maybe understand somebody's perspective, because like I said, we all have different life experiences in life. It doesn't matter your coworker, your employer. So everybody has different life experiences. So in order for you to understand where someone else is coming from, like, you have to understand their perspective, and those are the type of things that I think that people need to understand, like cultural background and different perspectives.
Diversity and all
that. Yes.
Okay. And now, are you available so Newswire Magazine actually hosts events. We sponsor and host events all over the country.
Oh.
Would you be willing to come in and speak at one of these events if that was something that opened up for you?
Absolutely. So if this is something that, absolutely. If this is something that Newswire Magazine would like me to do and have me to do it, I will be very happy and glad to do it. Absolutely.
Awesome. Now, what do people get wrong about resilience often, and what's the fix?
I think people get wrong about resilience is that being resilient is being resilient is not like doing what you are supposed to do, because some people, like, they will say, like, I'm the most resilient person in this room. It's like, because like they compare like resilience with like different areas of their life, like with a particular
how much punishment they can take because of bad decisions.
Exactly. So like something this happened to you in a very particular situation in your life, and you take that as being like, oh, I'm the most resilient person in this room. Like, okay, or maybe like somebody did something wrong to you, and you were able probably like to, you were able probably to take the bullet, and you said, I'm the most resilient person in this family. I'm the most resilient person in this room. So, but I think like in order for us to understand resilience is like, it has to be something that you have endured in your life consistently, and you consistently overcame those obstacles constantly over the years. It's not something that once or twice, so that's what people need to understand what it means to be a resilient person, is to endure something consistently in your life and to be able to overcome those hurdles.
Yes, sir. And now I know you're a busy guy and we are already over time here, but what's one question that I did not ask you that you wish everyone would ask, and how would you answer that question?
Well, one question that I would say probably would be what immigrants are bringing into this country, like coming from a different background, because like I said, like this book is so relevant into our current political environment, like, what immigrants are capable of doing in this country. And I would answer that is that they are doing the work too, So if we think about in terms of the economy, they're working and contributing to the American economy. We think about that. So for example, me, I came here, no English, nothing, with a suitcase and $100. And I was able to work, I was able to work on myself, become a US citizen. All the way until today, I'm working for one of the top architecture companies in the US, designing major, massive structures like science and technology buildings, healthcare buildings, educational buildings, like, those sectors, and doing laboratories and all that kind of stuff, like working and building the backbones of this country, because if you think about science and technology, that's where they do research, you think about healthcare, that's where your loved ones are going to get cure. If they're sick, that's where they're gonna go. You think about education, that's where we all are going to get educated. So, we can have conversation about all these issues, right? So that's what I would say, like, thinking about in terms of like what immigrants are capable of doing in this country, we have to understand and be very empathetic toward other groups of people and give them the benefit of the doubt as well, and give them a chance to succeed and not just kill their dreams. So that's what I would say.
Now, if somebody's trying to get in touch with you right now, to whether it's to book you to speak, to order your books in bulk, maybe they've got a school that wants to order a few hundred of your books to distribute to students, what is the best way to book you, and what info should they send to move fast? Do they do that on your website?
They can do it on my website. So on the website, I do have links on the website that they can go and just, like if you go to books, you can just grab the book from here, and this page will direct you to Amazon or Barnes and Nobles or other bookstores around the country. So you can just go and purchase it there. Or if you would like to connect with me, you can also connect with me on Instagram at climbing_the_hill. So
nice.
Yeah.
I will do that as soon as we get done with the show here. Make sure we get connected and make sure I'm following and showing some love on your posts.
No problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Give me one final piece of advice for somebody watching this right now that just needs some help. Give me that one piece of advice.
If you are going through a traumatic experience in your life, or whether it's a child abuse, whether it's a divorce, whatever problem you are going through right now, just know that everything will be okay. Things will be better, like the stuff that you are going through today, time will heal everything, just be consistent with what you are doing. Just be consistent with the good things that you are doing, not the bad things that you are doing. Just be consistent with the good things that you are doing, and you will be far better off in a few weeks, months, or years to come. So that's what I would say to you, and just keep climbing that hill. It could be a climb.
Thanks for watching Success, Motivation, and Inspiration. This episode was designed to help you level up. See you next time.